Welcome back to the Revelation series here on Barefoot Bible. This is our 22nd video in the series, and today we're covering the heavenly vision, the end of it, chapter 4, verse 10, through the beginning of chapter 5. Don't forget to submit your questions about Revelation. Below the video, you'll see a section called Add a Comment. Verse 10, the 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne, and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. So the elders cast their crowns before the throne, and it reminds us that true worship is humble, seeking only to give glory to God. God created all things for his pleasure. Throughout the 7 days of creation, Genesis records, God saw that it was good. God created the mighty cherubim, the beasts here in this chapter of Revelation, to serve in his throne room for his pleasure. It was for God's pleasure that God created the earth, the moon, the stars, and he fixed them in space. On the 6th day, God created man in his image and in his likeness for his divine pleasure. Paul wrote that all things were created by God and for him. For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created, notice, by him and for him. Chapter 4 unveiled John's heavenly vision, the 24 elders and the 4 heavenly beasts. Chapter 5 continues by introducing the 7 sealed book, and we will focus on that for some time. The majority of the remaining chapters in Revelation actually deal with the contents of this book that is about to be opened. Moving on to chapter 5, verse 1, I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. In John's day, as far as paper goes, they didn't have flat-bound paper books, but they wrote on rolls of papyrus or vellum. The scroll is written within and on the back side. Scribes only wrote on one side. It was a smooth side of the scroll. And George Ladd, in his commentary on Revelation, explained this is not a common practice in the ancient world, but was sometimes done, and such a book was called an epistolograph. So this one was written on both sides. The scroll was sealed with 7 seals, which prohibited anyone from reading the contents. There would be a seal on the outside of the entire scroll. When you broke that, you could then normally read the entire scroll. But in this case, there were 6 additional inner seals, which only allowed you to read up to the next seal. Interestingly, historically now, the wills of Emperor Vespasian and Caesar Augustus also had 7 seals, just for background. In Daniel chapter 12, the prophet Daniel actually was recording all that God had revealed to him. And at one point, he was ordered to stop writing. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Daniel 12:4. And Daniel's prophetic vision was never disclosed. It was sealed and kept for the time of the end. And that phrase suggests God gave him a prophecy meant for end times, such as this New Testament prophecy that you and I call the book of Revelation. And Barefoot Bible thanks all those who have subscribed. If you haven't, a reminder to you, please click like and subscribe today. Join us. Our next video will continue with Revelation chapter 5, beginning in verse 2, when an angel proclaimed, Who is worthy to open the book and loose the seals? Thanks for joining us today. Please join us again next Thursday.